Hello everyone, I am Suchit. Our analysis focuses on a critical leadership lesson. The failure at Paisa wasn't ambition, it was execution. We see a pattern of moving with extreme speed but without the fairness, consultation, or emotional discipline required to sustain it. In my section, I will establish the foundation of how these early cultural and decision making patterns created the crisis. Now, moving to our slide 2, how we will analyze the case. Our roadmap tracks leadership dynamics across the first 8 weeks. I am covering part A, which looks at the foundations, vision, culture, and decision making. This sets the stage for my colleagues to later discuss the specific AI crisis, cross-cultural failures, and our proposed recovery metrics. Now moving to our slide 3, case snapshot. To understand the context, Paisa is a fintech led by its CEO Anshuman, facing intense pressure to scale rapidly. The firm operates under high cost pressure and rising expectations for fast execution. We notice early internal signals of tension across teams, which eventually manifested as fairness concerns and high retention risks. Now, moving to our slide 4, vision and culture clash. The trouble began in the first 2 weeks with an imposed vision. While bold, it was pushed unilaterally, alienating key stakeholders. This triggered a generational old guard versus new guard divide. Crucially, we saw psychological safety erosion. People stopped giving risk warnings because they didn't feel safe to speak up. We needed leadership as conversation to restore those vital voice loops. Now, moving towards slide 5, by week 3, the BNPL launch showcased a speed trap. Under deadline pressure, leadership fell into bounds rationality, satisfying with quick fixes instead of exploring better alternatives. For Vroom and Yetton, this low consultation reduced employee buy-in. This created a fairness split. Innovation only KPIs made the tech team feel positive while operations and support teams felt ignored and treated unfairly. Now moving towards slide 6, outsourcing freeze and scarf thread. Finally, the damage peaked with a 20% cost cutting freeze and outsourcing done without ethical review. This triggered a psychological contract breach leading to an attrition spike. Using the scarf model, we see mechanism 70% of staff felt a threat to their fairness alongside threats to status, certainty, and autonomy. This internal trust breakdown is where the conflict start leaking out. Dixit will take over to explain the public fallout.
Thank you, Sujit. Now I like to carry forward towards my particular slide. What actually triggered with the crisis? Internal asset drama that became public until the emotional intelligence was breakdown. Also, the cross-cultural mismatch. This is when organizational failed to create with the psychological safety of the employee. Like Amy Edwardson explained within the theory, when people don't feel safe around to speak up, the problem don't just vanish. They mature quietly until they explode, similarly as in week 8. Moving towards this slide 2, a massive red flag. This is where emotional intelligence become an operational requirement rather than just being a soft skill. Using with the Goldman EI model, regulation, limited empathy, as well as the poor relationship with the management under the pressure. When leaders don't just adapt communication among the culture, the same speed habits become the great misunderstanding externally. If we are to talk about slide 3, the breakdown followed a presidential chain reaction over speed concentration. Low acceptance rate, one size fit for all KPIs, especially presidential justice that conclude with if the process was fair, also distributive theory that concludes with outcome of the fairnessness. When KPI feels imposed and uneven, employees don't just dislike it, rather they start to question about the whole particular system itself. At this point, the culture becomes risk blind. Again, linking to the Emerson theory of 1999, when the fairnessness of the safety collapses, people stop speaking more from the leadership aspects, reflects with the downsize of the overall transactional leadership. That also measures everything that are meaningful. Whereas the transformational leadership is not just enough. Introducing decision windows so that the team come collaboratively with the major decisions. The transformational leadership reveals meaningful and trust co-design KPIs with teams so the measures are fair, relevant, and achievable, and also adding up with risk gates, feedback loops so that the government system catches with the problem early. Finally, we will measure with a trust chain which will restore with the employee trust, quality services, customer trust, as well as broad confidence that will get stabilized. This links back to the justice, psychological safety when fairness improves and speak up improves. When speak up improves, risk dedication improves, also stabilizing with the entire whole operations. Saying this, I'd like to now call David for his part of the presentation.
So, hello and good morning, everyone. I'm David Lama, and today I'm going to share a proposed leadership plan for Ansuman, who is the CEO of Paisa, which is a fintech company based in Nepal. The first proposed leadership plan for Ansuman is that he needs to approach mixed leadership style, such as transactional leadership style mixed with transformational leadership style, to meet and adapt to the changes of organization while maximizing profit and building innovative strategies to grow Paisa as a top fintech company in coming few years. The major KPI for this are profit maximization, revenue and sales metrics, and employee satisfaction, feedback, as well as surveys. The next proposed leadership plan is that Ansuman needs to approach democratic leadership style with advanced model of team organization to maintain welcoming and supportive environment for open communication and creativity with transparency along with employee participation and satisfaction. The major KPI for these are organizing town hall and individual meeting while setting new targets and supporting employees with underperformance while sharing plans and feedbacks. The next proposed plan is that Ansuman as a CEO needs to hire skilled employees to enhance high performance productivity and decrease employee turnover rates, as well as providing skill-based and professional training to enhance the productivity and culture of the company. The major KPI for these are employee turnover rates, full-time employees, achieve targets and goals, and successful interviews that were held in the HR. The next proposed plan is to motivate employees with reward and bonus to enhance productivity and meet the vision, as well as to reward individuals while achieving targets instead of hiring gig-based workers with less ethical acceptance. The major KPI for these are factors of motivation such as salary increment, bonus, incentives, health checkups, employee retention rates as well. The next proposed plan for Ansuman as the CEO is that he needs to respect employees and stakeholder perception with collaboration and participation, communicating the short-term goals and detailed plan with individual and team with goal-setting theory, which is also called Locke and Latham's goal-setting theory. The next proposed plan is that Ansuman needs to approach TKI conflict mode for collaborative and less assertiveness approach when addressing issues and disagreements from management that can help Ansuman to create win-win situations for both departments. The next proposed leadership and the last one is that Ansuman as the CEO needs a guideline to increase market share by 20% in 2 years by understanding capacity of available resources in the corporation while addressing the vision and mission by organizing press release and BOD meetings which can create employee stability by building loyalty and trust. The major KPI for this are market cap, revenue and profit, as well as smart table. Therefore, I'd like to end this video by giving a short conclusion that Ansuman is a very capable leader with lots of potential which can take Paisa to the new heights of success if he follows the proposed leadership plan of developing breakthrough leadership to build employee satisfaction, trust, and stakeholder engagement with motivating factors. With a mixed style of leadership, Ansuman can put on different leadership hats for different situations to reward and punish with innovative and transformative approach within the tech company with change management model. Therefore, at times of disagreements and disputes, Ansuman needs to avoid conflicts by approaching TKI conflict model. Thank you.